Welcome back, Scouts, for Activity 15, Building with Tools, Create a Marble Maze, and Marble Racetrack. Hemp Hill, Camino Real, Blanco Vista Elementary, and all others are welcome.
For more fun activities at home, visit our YouTube channel, Sacred Springs Scout Reach. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. A Scout is friendly. A Scout is a friend to all. He is a brother to other Scouts. He offers his friendship to people of all races and nations and respects them even if their beliefs and customs are different from his own. A Scout is friendly.
Show the Cub Scout sign. Tell what it means. Make the sign with your right hand. Hold your arm straight up. The two raised fingers stand for the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. The fingers look like the sharp ears of the wolf, ready to listen to a Kayla. Remember that a Kayla means good leader to a Cub Scout. Your mother or father or guardian is a Kayla. So is your Cub Master or your den leader. At school, your teacher is a Kayla.
Say the Cub Scout motto. Tell what it means. The Cub Scout motto is do your best. A motto is a guiding principle and a rule for living. Do your best means trying your hardest, not just a little bit. Do your best all the time. Do your best in school and at home. Do your best when you play a game and help your team. Do your best as you work on your rank adventures.
Hi guys, this is Cub Scout Rick and welcome to my Cub Scout studio, and today guys we're talking about Baloo the Builder requirement 1. I'm going to talk about some tools and why they're used in that. Well, walkers use who knows how many tools. There's like a bunch of tools. My dad has a workshop and he has a lot of tools, so I'm going to run through and show you all the tools. So first we'll talk about the safety glasses. These ones don't really fit me, so let's say I'm walking with the wood, they fall off, wood comes flying and hits me in the eye, and that we don't want that to happen because it's going to haunt you really bad. So that's important why you wear the ones that actually fit you. So if it hits you, nothing happens. Your eye will stay safe. And if you use like your normal glasses, they'll break and actually damage, and this is designed to not break. Next, we were talking about the hammers. And so if I was walking in my workshop, I was just kneeling, and I was just doing that. Ow, that really hurted! That really hurted. That is why we don't use the big hammers, and we use the ones just right. So now I can do it easily. And like, don't hit your finger, just do it. Don't aim for your finger. Right there. And next, guys, we're talking about the screwdrivers. And so this one is called a Phillips screwdriver. This one is just called a screwdriver. And why I got, like, how I remember this one is because of Mr. Phillips. And that is how I remember this name. So I will teach you. This one has like the straight one, and it's kind of like smooth or like bumpy like that. And this one has like all of the center, so they're both used for only certain screws. Like this one is used for this screw, as you can see. And you just have to pin them down, and then you just go the whole way down. So those are, and this one is used for like some sort of ones that have like only one end, or like two that will have like the X, so you can put it one and then you can do that. So and guys, next I'll be talking about the saws. This one is a metal one, so this one is used to cut metal. This one is this is just the normal one. You draw a line and it will cut down. First you need to make something, so you need to start like that, and then you get to like do that one. This one is called a coping saw. It has a handle, but the handle went missing. So it's like this, and it has very sharp teeth, and it's used to cut it in an angle. You can just cut it into, it's carved, and has used to cut carves in that, as I was saying. And also they use that back in the Civil War and asthmatics and that is the coil one. And next I'll be talking about the vise and the clamp one. For the vise one, for what it is, you would set a piece of wood in, and then you would knock this back, and then it's stuck, so you can do some work on it. You can do something, and then you just push it back just like this. And that is what that one is, and this one is used to like hold stuff together. So just like you would use this, you would grab that, you push it up, you would set this right where you want it to be, really, and then you just press this, and then it will just be hanging. So then it will stop, and these are some other ones. You would untwist this one, and then you would just, as I was saying, these are all just the same materials, but they're all in different ones. You pull this one back, so you just keep unscrewing it, so it'll fit it. And then there's this one, which I'm not going to do, but I think you do this, and then you would set it through here, and then you just put it like that. And that is for the vise and the trunk. And next we'll be doing the measuring tape. The measuring tapes. This one is a long one, so imagine bringing this one to school. Yes! This one is actually a large one to measure out pieces of wood, like the large pieces, to see how, if you're doing a project and that exactly has to be it. This one, it probably looks familiar, like a lot of people use it. It has, it's a ball, and then there's a bunch of lines that mix, and they look like this, and it probably goes to like 200 something. And so if you want to do this, and then you're measuring something, you see this little thingy, you press that down, and that is how you stop it. And then next, I will be talking about the sandpaper. And if you're making your pine wood doggy car and it's a piece of wood, all you do is just keep doing it and it will get it smoother. And if you want it smoother on a piece of wood, you would just keep doing that. And then next, I'll be talking about the first aid kit. You want to always have this when you're doing work, because if you get hot, you're going to need to help yourself with the first aid kit. And I said, bring this on a camping trip, because it's one of the 6 Cub Scout items that we need to bring. And that is all I have to say. Please hit the like that button, and please subscribe. And if you do want to join Cub Scouts, please do. And guys, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!
Requirement 3B. Use clay to sculpt a simple form. When you have a piece of clay in your hands, what happens? You squeeze it, twist it, pull it, roll it, and shape it. And before you know it, you are sculpting. What will you make?
It could be the figure of a person or just his head and neck. It could be an animal or a fantastic creature no one has ever seen before. You could even sculpt your own design for a futuristic car. You decide. Materials. You can sculpt with several different materials. Plastiline, a commercial modeling clay, is oily and plastic, which means you can shape it. It never dries out and is easy to work at room temperature. Plastiline costs more than the natural clay, but you can save money in the long run because you can use it again and again. Natural clay comes from the earth. It can be worked easily when it's damp and is good for detail work. As it dries, it becomes stiffer. Because it does dry out, it must be kept covered when you are not working it. Cover with a wet cloth or plastic bag. If the clay dries out too soon, you can soak it and knead it until it becomes soft again. Self-hardening clay is a prepared clay. It costs more than natural clay. It is easily worked as long as it is kept wet and soft. Once it dries, it becomes very hard and cannot be softened for reuse. Tools. Your best tools for working clay are your fingers. Sometimes other tools can come in handy. Try these: a dull kitchen knife for cutting clay, a tongue depressor or craft stick for detail work and smoothing, homemade modeling tool. A modeling tool. Make a modeling tool with the wooden dowel for a handle. Shape a hairpin or paper clip and attach it to the dowel by wrapping with thread. Coat the thread with model cement and let it dry. Making a clay animal. A fun project to make is an animal like a dog or an elephant or an animal that only exists in your mind. Here's how. 1. Find or sketch the animal you want to create. 2. Tear off a piece of clay and work it into the shape of the animal's body. Don't worry about making it perfect at this point. 3. Tear off small pieces of clay to form the legs. Work them into shape. Widen the ends to form feet. Again, your pieces don't have to be perfect yet. Four, score the ends of the legs and the body where the parts will connect. To score the clay, make grooves with a knife or a toothpick dipped in water. This will help the parts stick together. 5. Attach the legs one at a time. Use your thumb or modeling tool to smooth the clay between the legs and the body. Check to see if the animal will stand on its own. If not, adjust the legs or widen the feet. 6. Repeat steps 3 through 5 to create the head and tail. 7. Repeat steps 3 through 5 to add ears and a nose or trunk to the head. 8. Adjust the sculpture so it looks the way you want it to. As you work, refer to your picture to make sure the animal's proportions are right. Keep working the clay until you're happy with the result. 9. With your knife or a needle, create the eyes, mouth, fur, and other features. If you are using clay that dries out, you will need to hollow out your animal's body so it doesn't crack. Turn the animal over and use your modeling tool to remove much of the clay inside. Then close the hole and smooth it over. Have fun sculpting!
Requirement 3C. Create an object using clay that can be fired, baked in the oven, or air-dried. In addition to using store-bought clay, you can create your own modeling clay. Ingredients: 4 cups of flour, 1½ cups salt, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, 1 cup warm water. Food coloring optional. Directions: Number 1. Combine the flour and salt in a bowl. Number 2. Combine the oil and water in a second bowl. Add a few drops of food coloring if you want to make colored clay. Number 3. Stir the dry ingredients into the liquid ingredients. Number 4. Put the modeling clay on a floured surface. Knead until smooth. This clay will last a long time if you store it in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Once you've made your creation, bake it at 200 degrees for 30 to 45 minutes or until it sounds hollow when you tap on it. After your sculpture cools, you can paint it and then cover it with clear shellac to protect it.
Requirement 1. Learn about some basic tools and proper use of each tool. Learn about and understand the need for safety when you work with tools. Toolbox or tool bag. Whether you have few tools or a few dozen, it's important to keep them all together. A good place to store them is in a latching toolbox or tool bag that you can carry to wherever you are working. Taking care of your tools. Your tools will last longer if you take care of them. Here are some things you can do. When you are done working, wipe off your tools with a rag. You might also apply a little machine oil to prevent rusting. Dry your tools if they get wet. Use tools only for their intended purpose. For example, don't use a screwdriver as a chisel or pry bar. Put your tools back in your toolbox or tool bag when you are done with each one. That way, you won't lose your tools, and they won't be in your way as you continue working.
Tool safety. You already know that certain tools, such as saws, can be dangerous, but you can actually hurt yourself with any tool if you aren't careful. One way to keep yourself safe is to use protective gear. Here's some important gear to use. Hand protection. Wear gloves when handling lumber, carrying boxes of nails, and using saws. Even with gloves on, always know where all your fingers are when you are cutting and hammering. Head protection. Always wear a hard hat when you are working in an area that may have falling items or debris. Ear protection. Your hearing can be damaged very easily. Be certain to wear good quality ear protection when you are in an area that may have construction noise. Eye protection. Safety glasses are a must on every project. If you wear prescription glasses, you can get safety glasses that fit over your glasses, or you can buy side shields that slip onto the earpiece of your glasses. Safety glasses prevent debris and dust from entering your eyes. Foot protection. Wear good quality leather shoes with thick soles, if possible. This type of shoe will protect your foot if something falls on it and will prevent a puncture if you step on a nail. Never wear sandals, flip-flops, or open-toed shoes when working with tools. Lung protection. Cutting, drilling, and especially sanding create small dust particles that can irritate your lungs if you breathe them in. You can protect yourself by wearing a dust mask preferred, or by tying a bandana or neckerchief around the lower part of your face. How you use and care for your tools is also important. Tools that cut, such as saws, knives, and shears, should be kept sharp. If they are dull, you will have to use too much force and they may slip and cut you. Keep your hands away from saw teeth and knife blades so that if the tool slips, you won't get hurt. When using a saw, make sure that the item you are cutting is held securely. If it slips while you are cutting it, you could accidentally cut yourself. Be careful when you are hammering. If you miss the nail head, you don't want to hit your thumb. Ouch! Practice using your tools with an adult partner until you know how to handle them well. Practicing good safety skills with hand tools as a Webelos Scout will help prepare you for the greater challenge of using power tools when you are a Boy Scout.
Requirement 2. With the guidance of your Webelos Den leader, parent, or guardian, select a carpentry project and build it. Requirement 3. List the tools that you use safely as you build your project. Create a list of materials needed to build your project. And requirement 4. Put a check mark next to the tools on your list that you used for the first time. The best way to learn how to use tools is to actually use them on a project. For this requirement, pick a carpentry project and build it. When you are finished, update the list on the next page to include all the tools you used. Put a check mark next to those that you used safely and those that you used for the first time. My tool list: hammer, chisel, Allen wrench, pliers, handsaw, coping saw, awl, sanding block or sanding sponge, file, rasp, carpenter's square, level, clamp, vise, and any other tools that you used for your project.
Snapshot of adventure. Learning to build things that are useful or fun is an important skill. You might grow up to build houses as a career or models as a hobby, or you might just learn some skills that will help you in everyday life. Building materials may include wood, cement, plastic, steel, or a combination of all these things. For this adventure, we will focus on wood. You will learn about hand tools and how to use them safely. You will learn how to choose the right type of wood for a project and follow project instruction. And before you are finished, you will use your new skills to make 2 projects from wood. Requirement 1. Discover which hand tools are the best ones to have in your toolbox. Learn the rules for using these tools safely. Practice with at least 4 of these tools before beginning a project. Note to Akela: Cub Scouts are not allowed to use power tools. A woodworker may have dozens or even hundreds of tools. You will only need a few tools to complete this adventure. Using the right tool for the right job is very important. This keeps your tools in good working order. It also keeps you safe. It is a good idea to inspect your tools before using them to be certain they are in good condition. A scout is trustworthy. Show that you can be trusted to use tools by following safety rules. Here are some tools you might want in your toolbox. You may borrow these tools from your parent, neighbor, or den leader, but always ask permission first. When you have finished learning about these tools and how to use them safely, practice using them on pieces of scrap wood. Safety glasses. Safety glasses aren't really tools, but they can help keep you safe when you are using tools. It is extremely important that you protect your eyes when working with tools and wood. You will need a good pair of safety glasses that are kid-sized. Safety glasses are different from regular glasses or sunglasses. They are designed not to break when something hits them. They also cover a larger area around your eyes to keep sawdust and other construction debris out. Keep them clean with a soft cloth and store them in a safe spot. Wearing safety glasses while working is like wearing your safety belt in a car. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Practicing with tools. Here are some ways you can practice using your tools. With a hammer, see how many hits it takes you to drive a nail into a piece of wood, or see how many nails you can drive in 5 minutes. With a screwdriver, see how long it takes you to place one screw through 2 small pieces of wood. You could also use a vise or a clamp with this, which is using 2 tools at one time. With a saw, see how well you can cut using different thicknesses of wood. Check your cuts to make sure they are straight down, not slanted. Make a list of how you practiced using the tools. Once you have finished with your tools, wipe them off with an old cloth or rag and place them back where they belong. This will help your tools last longer. It will also help you find them the next time you need them. A scout is helpful. Working with tools can be messy. If you notice safe ways you can help clean up, offer to help.
Requirement 2. Select, plan, and define the materials for the projects you will complete in Requirement 3. You can use the tools you've learned about to make many kinds of projects, but all of them will begin with similar steps. Here's how to plan a project and read instructions or drawings. 1. Select your project. Will it be something useful, something fun to play with, or a gift for another person? 2. Read the directions. If you are using project instructions or drawings, read through them completely before beginning, then read them one more time. Just as a road map shows the route from one place to another, project instructions or drawings show you how to complete your project from beginning to end. It is important to read through the instructions before you begin to gather your materials. They may tell you the best type of wood for the project, how thick it should be, or how much you will need. You might also need other items, such as nails, screws, glue, and paint. You will also be able to determine which tools you will need. The next page includes the instructions for a simple tic-tac-toe board. As you can see, the picture only shows the finished result. It does not show any dimensions or other details. Later in this adventure, you will find more detailed instructions for other projects. Compare those instructions with the tic-tac-toe instructions. Which one helps you understand how to build your project in a better way? How could it be helpful to have both kinds of instructions, written and illustrated? Tic-tac-toe board. Cut a block of wood so it is 4 inches by 4 inches by 1 inch. Mark evenly spaced holes and drill. Paint golf tees, 5 of one color for X and 5 of another color for O's. Have fun building!
Requirement 3. Assemble your materials and build one useful project and one fun project using wood. Useful projects include things like toolboxes. Fun projects include things like tic-tac-toe boards. With your parent or den leader, pick one useful and one fun project and build both. Below are some ideas to get you started. You may also choose projects that aren't listed here. Your local or school library is a good place to begin searching for projects, or check the internet. Toolbox or art caddy. Materials and tools. 5 1 by 6 inch pieces of wood to be cut to various lengths. Broomstick piece or dowel, 18 inches long for the handle. Wood screws, wood glue, hand saw, brace and bit, screwdriver, measuring tape. Instructions. Cut 2 pieces of wood 17 1/2 inches long for 2 long sides. 2. Cut 1 piece of wood 16 inches long for the bottom. 3. Cut 2 pieces of wood 10 inches long for the ends. 4. Cut off the corners of the end pieces at an angle, then drill a hole in each large enough for the handle. The center of each hole should be 1 3/4 inches from the top and centered between the edges of the piece. 5. Insert the handle. Then put your toolbox together with wood screws. If you wish, you may put wood glue on the joints and let it dry before using the wood screws. Number 6, finish your toolbox using one of the methods described in Requirement 4.
Welcome, Scouts. My name is Jacob Fano. I'm coming here from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and we're talking about the marvelous world of marbles tonight. So, if you just sit back and relax, and just enjoy the history of marbles. People have been playing marbles and marble-like games for thousands of years. Historians believe that marbles started with cave people playing with small rounded pebbles or balls of natural clay. Clay balls have been found in tombs of Egypt, in Native American villages, and in ancient Aztec pyramids. For thousands of years, marbles have been made one of the world's most popular and interesting and entertaining games. So here we have some marbles that are actually from Native American villages. You also see some Egyptian marbles. You can see the hieroglyphics on the marbles. And then we also have some Roman marbles right here. Fun facts about marbles. The Roman Emperor Augustus played with marbles made of nuts. In the 1700s is where we got the English name of marbles, because they were actually made out of chips of broken marble. In 1900s, they were first made by machines. The British World Marble Championship has a tradition that dates back into 1588. The mass production became possible in 1884 in Akron, Ohio, when Sam Dyke created a wooden block with 6 grooves, each of which he had a lump of clay. An operator would roll a wooden paddle over all the clay balls at once. Dyke's factory was cranking out 5 train cars, or about 1 million marbles each day. Mass production made marbles much cheaper to make, and Akron became the marble capital of America. The U.S. National Marble Tournament is held over 4 days in June since 1922 in Willwood, New Jersey. And here's a quick video on how marbles are actually made. So you might ask, what are the types of marbles? So your first type of marble is the cat's eye. If you kind of look at the glass inside the marble, it really looks like a cat's eye. Our next ones are alley marbles. They're kind of a milky color with the coloration marks on the marble. Then you have your Aggie marbles. I kind of say they look almost like Jupiter. And then you have your Kami marbles. And then last but not least is our tall marbles. Our tall marbles are the big marbles you usually get. And so next we're going to kind of go into the different types of games we can do with marbles. So our first one is called the ringer. You draw a ring 10 feet across. You put 13 marbles in it, and you put it in a shape of an X. Each player tries to shoot from the outside of the circle while keeping the marble from outside the ring and trying to keep his shooter inside the ring. So if the shooter misses, his turn is over. But if the shooter hits some marbles and they come out and his shooter goes out, his turn's over, but he gets to keep those marbles. If his shooter stays in and knocks out marbles, he gets to keep those marbles while keep playing and shooting. and the person who collects the most marbles in the end is the winner. On each turn, a new player shoots from anywhere outside the ring, so you can really kind of choose your where you're going to shoot from. Our next game is called Plums. You basically get 2 lines 6 feet apart, and behind one line, you're going to set up all your marbles. The next one, you're going to have your shooter, and you're going to get behind that line, and then you're going to shoot the marbles out. If you can knock them off the line, that you get to keep those marbles. And so that's why we call them the plums. And so the play continues until all the plums are picked, and that means until all the marbles are knocked off the secondary line. And then our next game is called Dropsies. So basically, it's 2 feet across and 2 feet long square. And so you go and you put your toes on the line, and you get your marble, and you actually drop it, and it hits the marbles. If it knocks out the marbles, you get to keep them. And so whoever gets the most marbles by dropping their bombsies or their dropsies wins. So there's some marble terminology that we're going to let you know about. So the first one is keepsies. Is when you get to keep the marbles you win in a game. Don't play for keepsies if you don't want to lose your marbles. Our next one is frenzies. Is so when you give back the marbles at the end of the game. So it's not like you're going to keep those marbles forever. So that's the good thing. You're not going to lose your marbles in frenzies. And the end of the game, the next term is dubs. When you knock 2 marbles out of the ring with 1 shot. And finally, we have our term bombsies. Dropping your marble on top of the target marble. That's where we kind of used it in dropsies. So other term we have is knuckle down. When you put 1 knuckle of your shooting hand on the ground as you shoot. And the next one is hissing. When you lift your knuckle as you shoot. So, Scouts, it's time to create some marble madness. So the next one is a marble maze. You can create your own marble maze simply by getting a box, maybe putting some poster board at the bottom, and you can hot glue some straws and actually make your maze that way. That's just one easy way to make a marble maze. Next one is kind of creating an obstacle course. You can create an obstacle course with Play-Doh, with Lincoln Logs, Legos, whatever you have. That's the great thing. A Scout is thrifty. And the next one is race marbles. So you can race marbles like we see right here. It's like at the beach. Or you can even kind of race them down some Hot Wheels tracks. Or even better is they are Pinewood Derby tracks. And then lastly is you, Scout, can create your own new marble game. You can come up with the rules, how many players. The sky's the limit. So finally, you can make your own marble bag. So the easiest way is to get your piece of felt cloth, 1 foot by 1 foot, and you're going to cut it in the shape of a circle. And we kind of see that shape of the circle right here. And so you cut out your circle, and then you're going to cut out little slits all along the edge of your felt. And you can really use almost any kind of cloth for this. And then you can get some shoelaces, and you're going to lace it in, out, in, out, in, out, all the way around your piece of round cloth. And then you'll be able to kind of cinch it together, and it'll be able to hold your marbles. So that's the great thing about it. So thank you, Scouts, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a new love of marbles, and hope to see y'all all soon. Take care and scout me in.
Marble Madness. Requirement 6. Create your own game using marbles and design rules for playing the game. Share the game you created with your den, family, or friends. Explain the rules and how to play the game. Some of the best games are the ones you make up yourself. Think up a brand new game that uses marbles. Decide what the rules are and what the object of the game is. Test it out with 1 or 2 friends to make sure it works the way you want it to. If it doesn't, change your game until you're happy with it. Once your game is ready, teach it to the other members of your den or family. Who knows? You might invent the next great marbles game.
Join us next time for Activity 16, Critter Care, Dinosaurs, and Administering First Aid. If you are interested in joining a pack near you, visit beascout.scouting.org.